Lancé. Everybody, oh my gosh, that's projecting, isn't it? Everybody, could you take your seats, please? And we're going to get started, because believe it or not, we're actually on time. So if I can get you all to get seated and get comfortable, we will kick off with the MassChallenge 2022 awards. Okay. Fantastic. So we start off with a thanks to all of our partners. Right, so welcome everybody to the MassChallenge 2022 awards. My name is Matt Lashmar. I'm the Managing Director of MassChallenge Switzerland. So what I'm going to do for you guys tonight is I'm going to set the stage, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the program that happened this year, introduce our keynote speakers, and then promptly get off stage and let the startups pitch, and then we get to the awards. Very straightforward. So MassChallenge Switzerland started off when our founders had this vision of bringing a new type of accelerator to Switzerland. They wanted something that had the gung-ho, get stuff done attitude of North America, but realized that that probably wouldn't work in Europe and Switzerland. So they wanted to combine it with a healthy dose of Swiss pragmatism. So they went looking for a model. Started off on Silicon Valley and then moved a little bit closer towards Europe and found this thing in Boston called MassChallenge. MassChallenge ticked many of the boxes for what they were looking for. But one other thing that really stood out was that MassChallenge has a very central core belief that exists even in the Swiss operation today. It's this. It's that entrepreneurs will save the world. And that's a pretty bold statement, but boy, is it so true. Entrepreneurs, they are the creative class. They dream big. They take risks. They get stuff done. And they can add real value to society. Yes, they can create jobs, but they can really create a massive difference to all of us in our daily lives. So we believe here in Switzerland today that entrepreneurs will save the world. And this, my next slide, is officially retired, at least the top half of it is retired tonight. It is the awards last year on stage, not far from here, in the casino. And this picture really represents what MassChallenge is all about, which is, if you see some happy people with checks, okay, they're the startups. And they're happy because obviously they're checks and they were given with no strings attached, no equity taken. But they're also happy because they've met some amazing people who can help them grow their businesses. And these are, of course, our experts, our mentors, and, of course, our partners. And they're also happy because they've met some really cool startups who can help them with some of the challenges in their business. And we do this all under the umbrella of being no equity taken, outcome-focused, and incredibly startup-centric. And the model we've got really works, and we made a statement last year that I want to talk a little bit more later on, but it was this, is that we only accelerate climate-responsible startups who add value to society. And that was new for us. That was the first sort of diversion from the mission statement you see up in white. And this statement was all about any startup in our program has to be, when they're at scale, emissions neutral or actively helping us avoid or remove emissions. And whatever type of startup they are, so maybe they're in medtech, that would be appropriate. Of course, you could be in climate or manufacturing or ag tech, that would fit too. But you must add value to society. And that was the first time we'd actually said it, even though it was in the ethos of MassChallenge for some time, that all of our startups add value to society. So let's talk a little bit about, collectively, that's what our mission is and that's what we're trying to do. But let's talk about impact. Which way did I go? Let's talk about impact. So we're going to try and get you all a little bit energized for this bit, okay? So please stand up if you are or were a MassChallenge startup. So this is from this year or from past years. Stand up, okay? Stand up if you are an expert. This is a judge, a speaker, or a mentor. Stand up if you're an investor that's worked with us. Stand up if you're a partner, okay? Stand up if you're one of my team. Now, if you're still sitting down, don't worry, you're not left out of this, because you could or you will be in the future. So if you want to stand up, you can. Okay. Right, now stay standing, stay standing, stay standing. No, stay standing. Now I'm going to talk about the impact that the startups created with all of your help, right? Because they don't do it alone. So we have accelerated since we started 610 startups. That includes this year's batch. They have raised 985 million Swiss francs, which is a huge amount of money. And they have created 29,000 direct and indirect jobs. Wow, give yourselves a round of applause for helping the startups. Thank you. Okay, thank you. You can sit back down again. And that's what we're here to do, is to help the startups grow their businesses and add value back into society. So let's talk about this year's cohort. This is the timeline. We had a record number of applications. They were judged across a couple of stages, and now we have had 106 startups in the cohort, and we had 12 winners. Now, all of the 106 are winners in our eyes. We have 12 winners, and they're going to be talking to you tonight. The makeup of the industry composition follows, the largest contingent is in food and ag tech, which follows the makeup of our partners. Then you have a significant number, and we always do, in medtech and life sciences, and then climate and manufacturing is the next big block. From a nationalities point of view, we're very diverse. This was actually the most diverse cohort we've ever had. Switzerland remains obviously the biggest country of entrants and also of those people that we accelerate. If you look at across another couple of metrics, found agenda, so some good news here. So we measure this on the basis of any startup with a female co-founder, and we can see that that number is 45%. Now, that is the highest we've ever had. Last year it was 32%, so we're going in the right direction in terms of getting more female entrepreneurs involved. And I've made this plea a couple of times, but thank you for your help. I know some of you have been helping me with this, the team and I with this. We have more work that we need to do, but thanks. We want to try and get that number even higher. Interestingly, the applications number is just slightly lower, but it's consistent. It's about 40%. So as they go through our process, we need to get more people into the funnel, basically. The ethnicity figures, they're pretty similar to the last couple of years. We've been running at the data that you see, with sort of a third of our cohort is black or indigenous people of color. Right, now I've never shared this next bit of data with you, okay? And I have to explain it. So this is how we measure ourselves in terms of the startup satisfaction. And it's something called the Net Promoter Score. Oh, getting heckled. We have a Net Promoter Score. And this is actually a measure that a lot of startups use. It was invented by Bain. And we asked the startups, would you recommend MassChallenge? And they score us on a scale from 10 to 0. If you're a 9 or a 10, you're a promoter. If you're 6 or lower, you're a detractor. We subtract one from the other, turn it into a percentage. All very interesting, Matt. What does that mean? If you're at 0, according to the founders who created this Bain, that's good. 20 is okay. And if you start getting up into higher numbers than that, 50 is considered to be amazing. 80, you're in the 1 percentile. And this is the data. So I'm going to share with you the last few years. So the first was 2019, 49, very good score. Then COVID hits and we replicate it, so I was pretty pleased with that. In 2021, we're up at 55, so growing. And obviously you can guess by the scale there's a bigger number coming, and yes, it was 72. So really good number. I love it that you're giving a round of applause, because essentially this isn't my number, this is actually your number. And I'll explain why in a second. But some of the key bits of data. If startups are engaged or very engaged with us, it really is driving that number, and engagement was higher than last year. And also, we are startups at the beginning of the accelerator. What's the one thing that you want to get out of this? And more of them either hit or exceeded their objective, which we think is driving that number. So I make this bold statement: why is this the best ever program? And I'm going to dig into a few reasons. Number one, experts. You can see the type of feedback. So 508 experts gave nearly 11,000 feedbacks to startups. So even if you didn't get into the accelerator, you got feedback. If you're at round 2, probably from at least 11 people, 10 to 11 people. which is phenomenal because startups don't often get unbiased feedback, but our experts, our judges, give them that. Mentoring, 315 of you gave nearly 1,000 hours of mentoring. So if you're a mentor out there, or a judge, congratulations. Well done, thank you. We also had our biggest and broadest curriculum. We created some tracks this year. So we had a specific food, a specific climate and manufacturing, and a specific health tech curriculum. And we saw this score phenomenally well. On average, about 40 people attended each of the lectures. Interestingly, a third of those people weren't even startups because we opened it up to the community, so we're adding value in different places. And the quality of those lectures, according to those who attended, was higher than a year ago. So if you were one of our speakers, congrats to you. Thank you very much. Okay, next out there, I need to thank a few people. So Cara, are you? Yes, you're there. And Patrick's there somewhere. And Marco, are you there somewhere? I'm not sure. Okay, that's what Marco looks like. But these are our entrepreneurs in residence. These are amazing people who give us 150 something like hours across 3 months. And if you look at the data, the startups are saying that the help that they get is extremely or very valuable. So 84% of startups are saying that out of the 100 that responded in the survey. And they are being used a lot, right? So this is really good use of these experts' time. So thank you to Cara, Patrick, and Marco for all of their help. Okay, also, thank you to all of the partners. Now, we literally could not do this without you. Obviously, we love the fact that you give us money to run the program and you sponsor us. We love the fact, probably as much, maybe if not more in some cases, that you give us huge amounts of support in terms of advice, in mentorship, and connections with startups. So thank you to all of our partners for your support. Let me dive a little bit deeper. This year we went on tour, so we didn't just stay in the offices in Lausanne. We went on tour all the way to Utzwil with Bühler, so thank you for hosting. We went all the way to Vevey, just up the road with Nestlé, and to Kaiser Arcs with DSM. And this was the 3 really good highlights of the year. So thank you to all of those partners who attended those events and helped the startups. Additionally, one of the measures of us of success is connecting startups to partners who can help them. And we had more connections than we'd ever had before in this particular year. The average corporate partner had 24 relevant meetings with a startup, which is up 25% from last year, and had 13 detailed next steps, so meaningful follow-ups from those meetings, on average with 13 per corporate partner, which was double last year, which was double the year before. So massive thanks to all of our corporate partners for their support. Thank you. And finally, my team, who you can't see, but they are out there. So Nicholas, Hendrik, Georgia, these are the 3 experts who, PhD level, who experienced business people, work with startups, are helping startups and corporate partners work with each other. That's why those numbers we saw earlier on, one of the reasons why they're so high. Additionally, we have Elodie, who does all of the marketing communications that make sure that everyone knows what's going on, so thanks to her. And we have Yefe, who basically manages all of our operations, which if you're trying to give 11,000 feedbacks to startups for judging is quite a challenge. So, and finally, up in the gods, did I miss anybody? No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Up in the gods, up the back, we have Augustin and Leah, who've had a really fun year managing all of the eventing, including tonight. So thank you to the team. They deserve a massive round of applause because this is them. Thank you. Sorry. Last year, we call that little yellow that was underlined on the mission statement. We declared that we would sharpen our mission. And the idea was for the whole community to get behind these numbers I showed you earlier on. But as we sharpened the mission, we wanted to focus on this, only accelerating climate-responsible startups that add value to society. And in the sort of second half, we're going to talk a little bit about more of this, and I'll be on stage after Ian and our guest speaker. because we wanted to share this with you, which is another metric that we want to add onto our scorecard, which is the tons of CO2 equivalent that are removed or added every year by our startups. Now, this is challenging to measure, and we're going to share some of the things that we've done to try and get there. So it's a challenging measure, but this is not going to be forecast. This is actual emissions that we know our startups have reduced or avoided. And we'll share some stuff on that in a second. So I believe I am now going to hand over to Mr. Ian Roberts, who is the President and Chairman of MassChallenge Switzerland. So welcome to the stage, Ian.
Many thanks, Matt. Just before you go, the member of the team who never gets thanked, Matt. Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Matt's shown you what we've been doing, and he's shown you really that the model works. And I stood up on stage last year and said, how do we use this model of supporting startups to be more successful, to create their businesses, to create employment, to raise money, to make a real impact on society and economy? How do we use that capability to also tackle one of the biggest burning platforms of our time? And that issue, of course, is climate change. And if you read the press today, you will see that as we go into the next COP meeting, the news is we are not doing enough, and that 1.5 degree temperature increase is almost unthinkable that we stay under it, given the total inactivity that we see in addressing this on a global scale. And we said, look, is this something relevant for us and our partner group? Well, look at the partners. We have quite a lot of the agricultural value chain here. How can we help startups to scale? And if you think of just the greenhouse gas emissions associated with agriculture, you're looking at a quarter of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. This is extraordinary and this is huge. And it's not that this makes it difficult to do, which of course it is. It makes it worth doing because we have a lever to play with where we can actually drive impact and make a difference. And why does it make sense for us in terms of MassChallenge to do this? Well, let's think about it a little bit. What do we love? Massive societal challenges. Very, very important to us. We need partners. We have phenomenal partners, as I gave the example there of agriculture. What can partners do that startups can't do? We have global supply chains. We have global operations. We can copy-paste solutions quickly around the world, and we can drive scale. Because only if you drive scale do you drive impact. But what do we not have? We don't have a monopoly on brilliant ideas. We don't have a monopoly on entrepreneurial capability. But we have access to phenomenal startups and brilliant people with brilliant ideas whose capability to massively scale is perhaps a little bit less than the capability of some of these partners. And if we give some of our knowledge and access to our customer bases, we can support startups to scale that have a profound impact on that climate change agenda. So that's why we thought, let's put this together, because it's a winning combination and we would together have the capability to drive significant impact that would be significant enough to play a role in mitigating climate change. Now, I stood here last year, and honestly, that was easier said than done, right? Because if it was that easy, it would have been done. So we looked for partners. We looked for expertise. We looked for knowledge. We knew alone that we had no capability, even to understand how to measure this and to create a program that enabled startups to be sustainable by design or climate responsible by design. So we reached out to our colleagues at the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. There, they've got 200 CEOs of leading companies, and they are working together to make industry a strong part of solving this climate change solution, as well as looking at biodiversity and water usage, and looking at inequality in society, and all those other very important things that we understand are out there. We took the master's class of IMD, and we gave them this as a project, and they came and worked on that to help us create the best place to accelerate a sustainable startup. We worked with SIFE, we worked with E4S for tools to assess impact. And we worked with One Young World Switzerland to get input from a young generation deeply caring about this topic to guide us in terms of what was important that we bring to support startups to solve this problem. And very importantly, we worked with the extraordinary depth of knowledge that sits within the sustainability teams of our corporate partners who've been going through this journey, and we've all made some fantastic commitments. We need all the help we can get to achieve them, but we've been working very hard on how to track them and monitor them and report them. So bringing that knowledge together, we started qualifying the milestones, getting the qualifier questions. Every startup to come in had to do a very small self-assessment of the impact they were going to bring. And that became a qualifier to get into the program. We ran sustainability workshops and training workshops on how to quantify CO2 impact so that startups by design could create businesses and be aware of the impact they have and mitigate that impact, or do the maximum in terms of capturing, for example, CO2 from the atmosphere or avoiding emissions. We hired a fabulous entrepreneur in residence who's already been mentioned, who's been training the startups in climate tech, in climate responsibility, and we hired an expert member of staff to really drive sustainability into the program. And as I said, we have this wonderful partner group who are battling this problem on a huge scale and are committed to be part of solving this problem and are very open to partner and collaborate to be able to hit their commitments. And that brings me to our guest speaker, who is the co-CEO of one of these fantastic partners, DSM, who are driving the sustainability agenda with tremendous energy, rigor, and consistency, and have been doing so for many years. So I'm very proud to invite Geraldine up on stage, the co-CEO of DSM, to talk to us about their mission and to talk to us about why it was important for them to be partnered with the talent that we have access to in MassChallenge. Geraldine, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. I have to say, this is by far the best part of my day today. And so thank you so much for inviting me to be here. And of course, I stand here as well on behalf of all of the partners to MassChallenge. Now, I'm also very conscious that I'm standing between you and the awards. And this is not a good place to be on such a night. But I think there's some nice things to share. So let me maybe get started with why is it that I'm so happy to be here today? And that is because, and I've just had even more confirmation from Ian and Matt, we all have a very common passion. In our case, very clearly fixing the broken food systems, but ultimately having impact at scale. And that's the big word here. So let me see first if my slides are gonna appear. Yes. So I always like to say, what can we do together that we can't do alone? And that is why MassChallenge is so important. In fact, alone, you really get stuck quite quickly. Now, before I go into what do we stand for as a company, maybe a couple of words about myself. Now, I am today co-CEO and CFO of Royal DSM, and I'll tell you a bit more about our company. But in fact, I am a geographer, and I did a master's in sustainable development. So this image that you're seeing here, I've been passionate about it for many years, nearly 3 decades, gosh. This is our spaceship for humanity to travel, and it's our job to take care of it. Now, when you look at it, so I was a geographer and then I did a lot of satellite imagery work, and it was at the time when climate change was still a debate. So my master's at Cambridge was all about is climate change actually really happening because of mankind and mankind's activity? And at the time, it was still very much a question. Now, unfortunately, you referred to the IPCC report. That debate is over. We know that we are causing climate change and the tipping points are coming. Now, you can say, why did someone who studied geography and then did a master's in sustainable development ended up being a CFO, a finance person, for a big part of my life and now a CEO? Well, that's because ultimately the activities that we do as society is what drives this impact. So yes, you can analyze a lot of things, but if you can actually change our activities, that's when you truly have impact. So I decided I love numbers, and what else has a lot of numbers? Finance. And yeah, where capital goes, then things tend to happen. Where capital is lacking, not much is happening. And that's what guided me then into my career into finance. So that's a few words about myself, but let me tell you a couple of words about Royal DSM. Now, for those of you who don't know us, DSM used to stand for Dutch State Mines. Yep, it used to be the mining company of the Netherlands. And from there, it evolved and it evolved and it evolved. And today, we are actually a life science company, health, nutrition, and bioscience with a lot of biotech. And we're actually the world's biggest producer of micronutrients and what makes actually food and feed really nutritious, with a very strong basis on biotech, which is our core. Now, you were saying all the partners actually of MassChallenge are highly committed to having impact. In our case, we've been purpose-led and performance-driven for more than 2 decades at least. And what I mean by that is that we have embedded our ambitions, which are both financial but non-financial. So we talk about the 3 Ps, people, planet, profit, in our incentives in the company for nearly 15 years. So this is not new, which means that we set ourselves targets, whether it be on reducing emissions, whether it be on people impact, and we actually measure it. And importantly, this is audited to the same degree as financial reporting. So we are fully committed. And as a fully listed company, I can tell you, this was actually quite a surprise when we started doing that 12, 14 years ago. So this is who we are, just a bit of a scale, about 9 billion turnover, nearly 20,000 employees around the world in our current scope, and extremely passionate about food systems. Now, why are we passionate about food systems? Well, I know that you know a lot about this, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but in pretty much all aspects, the food systems of today are broken. But before I go into why they're broken, let's also look at what they achieved. So if you think about it, in 1950, there was about 2.5 billion humans on our spaceship. Today, as you know, of course, we're north of 7.5 billion, so triple the number of people on our planet. And yet, in absolute terms, the number of people who are suffering from malnutrition and acute hunger is massively lower. We've achieved, through the Green Revolution, a massive increase in output of food, which has actually helped, I would say, population around the world, of course not everywhere, but massively. Now, that is great, but, and there's a huge but, in those 3 buckets, there are a lot of issues. If you look at health of people, health of planet, and healthy livelihoods, and I'll just take a couple of examples, you look at the health of people. Well, unfortunately, there are still a lot of people who cannot afford a healthy diet, who suffer from malnutrition, or otherwise known as hidden hunger. And that is where you get the calories, but you don't get the micronutrients. That is more than 2 billion people. So that's a big proportion of humanity actually has terrible diets. There's still very much a problem of hunger. And right now we are in a food crisis like we have never seen before. And we work a lot with World Food Programme. And basically the number of people suffering from acute malnutrition, i.e. starving, is now more than 345 million, of which half are children and young women. So, and that has been going up rapidly, and we all know the why. Partly the conflict, the issues with climate, the issues with trade. So it's pretty much a perfect storm. At the same time, the health of populations in countries who have higher income is not good either. And you can think here about obesity, diabetes, etc. The rate of non-communicable diseases has been going up very fast. So as well, we have issues there. So health of people, a lot of challenges to be addressed. Health of the planet, you talked about it, on the impact of food production on climate. Now, this is a real strange situation to some extent, because in achieving that big increase in food production, we've also actually destroyed a lot of the vegetation cover of our planet. And that means that actually agriculture and food production, which is the oldest human activity on Earth, is actually one of the biggest contributors, if not the biggest, to climate change. And at the very same time, what we're seeing is that as we speak today, a third of arable lands are suffering from chronic drought. So not a little drought, a structural, a long-term drought problem, a third. So we need to reinvent how we produce food for two reasons. One is we have to stop being one of the big causes of climate and emissions I'll come back on in a second. But we also need to look at biodiversity, nature loss, et cetera, So a lot of challenges around planet. And last but not least, and I really mean that, last but not least, livelihoods. There are unfortunately 600 million farmers in the world who live in poverty. So the value across the value chain is absolutely not well distributed. And this is something which ultimately undermines the stability of society. So I'm painting a pretty dark picture here, and I'm sorry about that. But to all challenges, there are opportunities, right? And this is where we, through the Bright Science, can all make a difference. And if I pivot to what do we do as DSM? So as I said, we are very deeply purpose-driven as a company. So for 2 decades, we have actually been embedding in our innovation and our science and our research climate. And I'll give you a couple of examples here of innovation. Actually, looking at time, let me give you one in particular, the upper left corner. So when we did an ideation round, and this was also with startups, we were thinking, what can we as a company do about climate change? We're in the middle of the value chain, we're not backward integrated in the fields, we don't go all the way to the consumer, we're kind of a little bit stuck in the middle. What can we do? And we analyzed, and we actually found that the worst greenhouse gas is methane. Now, let me give you a couple of facts. Methane has a relatively short lifespan in atmosphere, but if you look at it on a 10-year basis, it is 100 times more potent than CO2 when it comes to global warming. 100 times. And then we looked at, what are the main sources of methane emissions? And in fact, 40% comes from agriculture, of which the vast majority is livestock. And I reassure you, this is about burping of cows, amongst others, but all the ruminants. So we are specialists in what goes on in the gut. And we looked at a cow as an energy equation. Energy in, energy out. If a cow burps methane, it's a waste stream. So can we do something to reduce that, which would actually help climate and maybe be good for the cow and the milk and the meat? We've been working on the science of this 12 years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And at first, we were told you're completely out there. But you may have heard at COP26 in Glasgow that countries have now committed through the global pledge on methane reduction to reduce methane by 30%. And we have to do it fast, because this is the turbocharge, it's the weapon of mass destruction on climate, is methane. So actually, right now, it's highly relevant that by adding 1/4 teaspoon of a feed ingredient in the feed of a cow, you can reduce the methane burped by the cow by 30% or more, depending on their diet and their species, etc. It is massive, and it requires zero infrastructure. So something which was an idea a long time ago, which looked pretty, out there. No one said, yeah, no one pays for methane, why would farmers want to do it, etc., is now front and center of a future-fit dairy chain, a future-fit animal-based protein chain. So that's an example of what, forward thinking can do. But as I said, we can't do it all on our own. So why are we all here tonight? Well, DSM has been involved in venturing for many, many years. We have 15 dedicated, very professional team, a combination of prior startup people and investors, and 2 of my colleagues are in the room tonight. And we go through and we really are searching to find the great technologies that can help us accelerate our impact. And that's why tonight is so important. Now, there's many examples that I could give. We've been looking all the range from lab-based meats. So we've invested in Meatable, for example. We're looking at the future of proteins very much. But we also went to the very digital side of how do we actually improve personalized nutrition so that the health of the humans can be improved and be actually done in a much, much better way than before. So a lot to do with the startups, and that's why we're here. Now, looking at the clock, I was asked by Matt and Ian to give you a couple of words of advice. Now, that's extremely difficult because A, you're very good, you're very well coached, you've got lots of mentors. So let me just round off with 2 little bits of advice. One, and the word was mentioned earlier, when you're thinking about what you can bring to the world and have impact, think very early on about scaling. If your idea is not scalable, it's going to be a great idea, but we're going to really struggle together to take it somewhere. And from our experience, what we have found is the scalability often is something that is thought of a little bit too far down the road. So probably it's wise to discuss with partners like us quite early on, if we were to ... would that be something which is scalable? So that's the word I would like to leave in your minds. But the other one is something a little more personal, maybe. I was struck by a story of an athlete whose grandfather actually was world champion in terms of running marathons. And he was being interviewed, and he was asked, what is your dream? And he said, I want to be the fastest man on earth, like my grandfather was at his time. And the journalist said, wow, isn't that a bit of a scary ambition? And with a beautiful gleam and smile, he said, well, if your dream doesn't scare you, surely it's not big enough. So I'd love to leave that with you as a parting thought. Does your dream scare you? And if it does, we're on the right track. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Geraldine. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow. Thank you very much, Ian. Ian, thank you very much, Geraldine. Right. Let's go. I can't see the one in front of me, but maybe the one behind me will work. There we go, I'm back. So thank you very much, Ian. Thank you very much, Geraldine. Let me just move a little bit into some of the things that we've done on sustainability this year, and then we're going to hear this from the startups. So the first one, we also run a challenge for later stage startups. This is the MassChallenge. This is the Sustainable Food Solutions Challenge. Actually just fits with the piece of advice that Geraldine just gave. And the idea here is we're looking for later stage startups who have an idea that could feed the planet sustainably. And then we partner them with our corporate partners so those ideas can be scaled. So brilliant segue. Thank you, Geraldine. And this year we ran it. We had, third year we've done it. We had 400 startups apply. We had 55 really good connections going on between the startups and the partners. And then the idea is the corporate partner picks a startup and they publicly and jointly present to the community how would the startup's idea, when scaled by the partner, feed the planet sustainably. You can see my numbers don't quite make sense in the number of startups and partners because 2 partners, Nestlé and Givaudan, combined with 1 startup, Petcoff, to present their solution, and they were the winners this year. And we look forward to seeing how that develops. Okay, we're going to bring back the challenge this year. So on Tuesday, we will announce the challenge for 2023. And we're going to run it again on the same focus areas of sustainable food, sustainable ingredients, and side stream utilization. So look to that if you are a mature startup. Ian mentioned a few things earlier on about how we were inspired by others. So we had the IMD in our office this year, helping us with build our sustainability credentials. We had the whole of the MBA program, all 113 of them, give us advice for a whole week on how to get climate responsible, which was really inspiring for us. We also had, Hendrik and I had the pleasure of attending the One Young World Switzerland caucus in June. We were tremendously inspired by the younger generation of leaders. And we'll come back to One Young World in a second, but as we go onto this climate responsible journey, really listening to the young leaders speaking with candor about what needs to be true as they inherit the mistakes of the generations before, and actually getting really, really engaged into this topic really helped us. And as I said, we'll discuss that in a little bit later on. We also work with SIFE and Tech for Impact, who really helped us generate tools and also help coach the startups to become climate responsible. What did startups think of our plan? Well, they found it helpful. Both the lectures, the entrepreneurs in residence, so Cara, and the tools, they really liked what we did, but we know we can get better. So as we go into 2023, we're looking forward to improving this in this area. And this is leading me to our objectives for going forward for the next years. There's two things. You remember I showed you the CO2 number, which had a question mark? Well, there's two big objectives that we've got. The first one is that every year we want to continue to find 100 startups who are climate responsible that will add value to society. So they could be from any industry, could be medtech, could be ag tech, could be from climate tech. But additionally, we also want to accelerate 25 startups who can each remove or avoid at least 20 million tons of CO2 equivalent in 10 years of their business plan. And that's a pretty bold statement, right? And to sort of bring it to life a little bit, we looked back at some of our alumni, and we picked 3 to make up the number I'm going to share with you in a second. So this is Planted, who make alternative protein. Panera is a logistics company. And Bloom Biorenewables is taking biomass and turning it into petroleum-like products. And just those 3 startups, just those 3, and this is data that is real, it's not forecast, this is actual data, have removed or avoided 8.3 million tons of CO2 equivalent, right? That's real data, it happens, not forecast, right? So just 3. Now, 8.3 million tons, to help myself get my head around it, I thought, well, what is that? That is 75% of the population of the canton of Vaud's emissions for a whole year. Just those 3 startups. So imagine if we start scaling, the startups start scaling even more. So to give you some confidence about can we find even more startups like this, there are a couple from cohort in 2020. So Neustark, who's basically putting CO2 into concrete, and to Poly, who's breaking down plastic into chemicals. So when these guys scale, they're going to hopefully produce numbers like you just saw to help contribute to this massive running rate of CO2 reduction. And from this year's cohort, Hendrik and I, we picked 8 that we think, if they scale, they could make a serious dent, and they could be one of these startups that is putting out a huge amount of, avoiding a huge amount of CO2. The good news is that if you look back at the cohort in 2021, we've got 50 startups from 2021 who said their solution had the capability of removing more than 1 million tons of CO2 a year. And in 2022, 48 startups. So the pipeline is there. So if you get to an impact that we're looking to create, which is a little bit scary, if we can find these 25 startups in the community, so that's all of you guys, can help them scale. And they do remove or avoid this 20 million tons. And those 25 startups, if they scale, we could remove or avoid 500 million tons of CO2 a year. And if you looked at that as a country, that would be basically Brazil. And our ambition, and that Brazil's about the 13th biggest emitter in the world. We would like to get into the top 10. So this is a big, bold statement. We have a lot of challenges in how do we measure it. So one of the commitments on this is that we will track and we will follow these companies to find the 25. And so as we come back, we'll keep now reporting actual emissions, not forecasts, but actual emissions, and we'll get better year on year as we track and we validate this data. So this is our ambition going forward. It is a little bit big, it is a little bit scary, but hopefully when we start sharing our impact numbers, we'll see progress in this space. Okay, so now I am done. And now we get to the bit you've probably really been waiting for, right? So we have startups. Each of the startups are going to pitch. They have 1 minute each, and this is going to introduce them to you. And when they're done, we'll start the awards. And to begin with, I think we have online pitching, right? So do we have Dustin online? I hope we do. Is Dustin out there? I can't even see you guys at the back if you're waving at me.
Yep, I'm here.
Perfect. Yeah, that's me, back of my head. Okay. As if by magic. Dustin, welcome. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Hey, Matt.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you. You have 1 minute to talk about Yoo-hoo. We'll start the clock when you're ready.
All right, sounds good. Science has shown that breathing in poor air not only makes you sick, it also reduces your productivity and increases the CO2 emissions of buildings. But how can you manage something that you cannot see? That is why we created Yoo-hoo. Yoo-hoo lets you see the air so you can improve your health, decarbonize, and enhance your ESG. You can view real-time and historical data of all your rooms and buildings and manage them from one dashboard. You'll get alerts and tips on what you can do to ensure your health and safety 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yoo-hoo's growing customer base includes 20,000 homes and more than 600 private and public enterprises across 20 countries. We are addressing a growing $324 billion market. Today, we're raising $5 million to fulfill our $8 million pipeline and grow our engineering and sales teams. My name is Dustin, and I'd like to invite you to come join us in our mission to make clean, breathable air accessible to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dustin. And now we should have Gergana online. Gergana, are you there? The founder of Le Mans. Are you there? Are you out there? The guys in the booth are probably moving it around. Fingers crossed. We have a hit rate of 100% so far. We've done it. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Perfectly.
Okay. So the guys will start the clock when you start talking. So good luck.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. My name is Gergana, co-founder and COO of Le Mans. Le Mans, we produce bio-based and suitable for home compost laminating fumes for paper and cardboard application, as well as clear packaging foils. The innovation lies in the production method that allows us to produce foils at a very competitive price, as well as the recipe that helps us make durable foils that are also coming in the standard sizes and thicknesses. Over the past 4 years of R&D, we also managed to secure a pipeline of over 500 customers from all over the globe that are just waiting for us to have production capacity. And this is just around the corner. We're currently setting up our own production facility in Sofia, Bulgaria, and we launched both our products in the beginning of 2023. And because we do believe that the time for drastic change in the packaging and print sectors are well overdue, we do plan to be a part of it. So join us. Thank you so much.
Fantastic, thank you. And next up is Thomas. It's gone the wrong way. Go back the other way. Here we go. Next way. Why don't you advance the slides? Hopefully not going to count. Ah, there we go. So it's Thomas from Cultivated Biosciences. Good luck.
So Cultivated Biosciences is a food and biotech startup working on creating creamy, dairy-free indulgence to solve the 4% global greenhouse gas emissions coming from dairy. We have found a solution working with GMO-free yeast that we grow to naturally get a lot of fat, and we have a unique technology to get a texture like cream that has no cholesterol, no lactose, and has a bright white color appealing to consumers. We have a huge interest. We have 18 letters of intent. We just closed our pre-seed round of 1.4 million, and we have 8 amazing team members in Zurich working on creating something more than dairy to really fix this problem and bring to the market a better texture for these products. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. And now Mitchell from Composite Recycling.
Hello, my name is Mitchell Anderson, and I'm a co-founder of Composite Recycling, where we're closing the loop on glass fiber reinforced plastics. Glass fiber plastics are a wonderful material. We use them to make the boats that are sailing on the lake, or the wind turbines that are producing clean energy for your house. We also use it in things like planes, making them lighter and more fuel efficient. The problem with composites is they're made to be durable and not recyclable. Until now, every year, 4.5 million tons of new composite waste is generated, and has nowhere to go but landfill. Or in the case of an old boat, you bring it out into sea, drill a hole, and sink it to the bottom of the sea. And we think this is crazy. So at Composite Recycling, we've developed a mobile pyrolysis reactor, which goes and recycles the composite material on site. We're able to reclaim glass fiber, which can be resold to make new composites, and a pyrolysis oil, which can be used to make new plastics, completely closing the loop and making composites now an environmentally friendly product. Thank you.
Thank you. And now Samuel from Gaiatech.
For every bottle of olive oil, there are 4 bottles of waste. Today, olive oil producers pay to get rid of this waste. At Gaiatech, we take this pomace and we extract valuable ingredients for the industry. Our olive antioxidants enable cosmetic and food manufacturers to keep their products fresh and healthy in a natural way. The product has been developed in the last 3 years within an EIT food project funded by 2.3 million euros. My name is Sam, and I'm part of a great team with Claudio and Enrico. We're currently raising a pre-seed round in order to finance the pilot production. Please join us as customers, partners, and investors, so we can extend this upcycling technology to other side streams all around the world and turn agri-waste into value, bottle by bottle, ton by ton. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And now Langston.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Langston. There are more than 500 million patients around the world suffering from retinal diseases. But thankfully, pharmaceutical companies are building great drug products to preserve the gift of sight. Unfortunately, these great products are not reaching to all patients in need for one major reason. For 80 years and more, doctors have been sticking needles in the eye just to get the disease managed. Understandably, up to 15% of patients skipped injections. This is where we want to make a change. At Ophthalmic, we have developed the world's first novel ultrasound technology to non-invasively deliver drugs in the eye effectively and precisely. With wide compatibility to a wide range of therapeutics, we are now partnering with biotech and big pharma companies to work jointly, aiming to create a new treatment options to eye patients around the world in need. So they don't have to face blindness or injection. Now they can receive treatments in a truly non-invasive manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Langston. And now Josh from Inulux. There you go.
Hi, everyone. So reducing sugar in food is really, really hard because it changes the fundamental taste experience, and 90% of consumers say that taste is their top purchase motivator. So how do you reduce sugar in a food product without actually changing that food product? Well, at Inulox, we propose reducing the sugar after you eat the sugar. So how do we do this? Well, we've developed an ingredient that will link together at least 30% of ingested sugar into a prebiotic fiber inside your gut. We believe that this approach of changing the sugar after you eat it will maintain the authenticity of the brand for both the consumer and the manufacturer. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. And now Neil from Jasbury.
สวัสดีครับ What if I tell you that, imagine if you had a crop that could transform the health of consumers worldwide, and at the same time, take millions of farmers out of poverty. Imagine if you had a staple food that was not only delicious, but nutritious. What if I tell you that a little grain of rice has the power to change the world? Jasmine rice is a new variety of non-GMO rice with over 40 times more nutrition than brown rice, 7 times more than kale, and 4 times more than quinoa. It is simply the world's first superfood rice. I started on this journey working with just 25 farmers' family. We're now working with over 2,500 farmers' family, increasing their income from just 40 cents a day to almost $6 a day, an increase of 14 times, lifting over 12,000 people out of poverty. I'm on a mission to make superfood accessible and affordable for everyday life while eliminating farmers' poverty and saving the planet at the same time. So please join me in transforming life one grain at a time. ขอบคุณครับ
Fantastic. Thank you. And now Francesco. So I got told to go over this side. Thanks, guys.
Hello, everyone. There are 30 million patients in Europe and in the United States that are affected by pain due to damages to the nerves that connect the brain with the hands and the brain with the feet. Available solutions do not function because they do not target the core cause of the pain, which is the disrupted sensory feedback between the damaged nerve and the brain. At St. Arts, we've developed a neurotechnology that revives the communication between the brain and the nerves to restore the sensory feedback and treat the pain. We do that with tiny wires as thin as hair that enter inside the nerve. So far, we've already patented our technology in Europe and in the United States. We've received an FDA breakthrough device designation. We published more than 25 papers on humans and animal studies, and we've raised $2.5 million in public funding. Thank you.
Thank you. And now Victor from Lignovations.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Victor Thibault. I'm co-founder of Lignovations, and we are manufacturing a biomaterial to make consumer products more sustainable. And we're doing that from lignin. Lignin is a part of every plant, just like cellulose. It protects the plant from UV radiation, oxidative stress, and other negative influences. And through our patented technology, we can make these protective functions usable in everyday products like cosmetics, packaging, coatings, and food. And providing such an alternative, as we heard today, is important not just for our health and for the environment, but also for the industry, because that's what consumers are demanding, and that's what regulators are pushing for. So at Lignovations, we are providing such a solution and an alternative ingredient made from biomass to the industry. We are Lignovations. We make consumer products more sustainable using the power of lignin. Thank you.
Thank you. And now Jukka. Jukka from Manna Insect.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Jukka. I'm founder and CEO of Manna Insect. So we are on a mission to empower local communities to become more resilient in producing food, regardless where they are, how climate will change, what is their infrastructure, and even what is their knowledge. So how do we do this? We provide a solution to repurpose used shipping containers with locally sourced materials and equipment. And with our control unit and algorithms, we create a perfect environment for black soda-fly larvae to eat basically any found bio-waste that is local and convert that into an animal feed. We started this summer our commercial activities, and since then we've deployed now to 3 continents, and in the next 4 months we've covered everything else except North and South Pole. Thank you.
Thank you. And the last one, but not least, Lars from No Palm Ingredients.
Hi everyone. At No Palm Ingredients, we're solving the palm oil problem. Palm oil is all around us. It's in 60% of the products in the supermarket, and all of you here have consumed palm oil today. And that's a problem, because palm oil is responsible for 1.5% of all global greenhouse gas emissions. And annually, 2.5 million football fields are burned down to make room for these plantations. And that needs to stop. And we at No Palm Ingredients have the solution. Tunable fermented oils and fats. We developed a scalable technology that allows us to upcycle agri-food waste streams into oils and fats that meet the specifics of our customers. And because of fermentation and circularity, we have a competitive advantage. First, we're price competitive. Secondly, our tunable oils can be made anywhere in the world. And thirdly, impact, 90% carbon emission reductions. So come and join us in our journey to a palm oil-free world. Thank you.
Thank you. So you've seen all 12 of our winners. Please give them one more massive round of applause. Thank you very much. Now, obviously, I want to drag out the money bit as long as possible. So we have a few things to do before we get to awarding the actual cash money prizes. So let's, first of all, talk about the top 3 mentors of this year. We could not run the program without the mentors. And how do we select these people? Well, we don't, the startups do. So we look at the number of people that they've mentored, and we look at who they've mentored in the top 12 finalists. And we have 3 mentors who are sort of representing all of the mentors that we have tonight. But I want to call out 3 people. So please, could they join me on stage? I think Daniel and Emmy are here. Maybe you're not. Yes, you are. Emmy, you're definitely here. Come on, come up on stage. So we have gifts, and we have, well, checks, sort of. It's not money, it's recognition. So I think we want to come this way, and they're going to take a photograph of us. And actually, yeah, get Emmy in the middle. Okay, fantastic, thank you very much. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Miriam, who's out there and online. We'll post it to you. Okay, let's move to the next category. The Super Judge Club. Now, this is a new category. Don't laugh, this is really important. Judging is super important at MassChallenge. And how did we decide who are super judges? Well, we looked back across the last, was it 5 years? 5 years. 5 years. And we looked at people who were judged in every single round. So there's a round 1, there's a round 2, and there's a pre-final. And we looked at some people who judged in every single round. And if you are here, we would like you on stage. And we're going to run this again next year. So if people continue to join this new judge club, then we'll see more people on stage next year. So please, could you join me on stage if you're here? I know Patrick's here, I know Massimo's not. But yeah, please join us on stage. Come join us on stage. So I know Sylvan's here. Pierre is here. Wilma's here. Come. Thanks a lot, guys. Sylvan, thank you, thank you. Yeah, let's do the photograph. Come this way. Yeah, join us right at the edge, but not falling off, right? Right, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks to all of our judges. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay. Right, we'll keep it moving. We'll keep it moving. What's up next? The Entrepreneur of the Year. We have 5 entrepreneur teams, and actually, how is this winner selected? The entrepreneur is very brave. They go in front of our judges and they're treated like a startup. And if you're in a corporate, this is hard. Corporates are not good at pitching. Startups are very good at pitching. Corporates not good at pitching. So we would like to announce our winner, but to join me on stage to award the prize, Fabio, could you come up on stage? Thank you very much. And who is the winner? It is Romain from Mindset. So where are you, Romain? Oh, he's coming over here. Congratulations. Let's go right to the front. Yeah, shaking of the hands. And let's go to the front, and then you can grab a picture. Come a little bit further forward. Let's look like we're friendly. Excellent. Thank you. Well done. Thank you, Fabio. Now we get to the in-kind awards. Okay, so for the first in-kind award, I think it's Alexandre is going to join. Yes, please, come join me on stage. Thank you. So this is from Kellerhaus Carrard, our in-house lawyer. Our lawyer. Keeps me out of trouble. We haven't done anything bad this year, so it's been great. So welcome on stage. We have they are giving 12 hours of legal services to the following startups. Do we get the drum roll? So if you are here, please join us on stage. So Cultivated, Gaia, I know you're here. I know Mitchell's here. InnoSpinner, are you here? Volteris. Yeah, I know. So I sort of know who's who. Gaia, let's go. Come towards me. Hang on. Yeah, composite recycling, that's Mitchell. There we go, hang on to that. Gaia, let's go that way, sorry. Volteris, yes, sorry. It's got a lot of people on stage. And we've got Chiril and InnoSpinner. Yeah, that's you, yep. Let's go to the front and take a photograph with Alexandra. Do you need us closer? Okay, I am not going to be the one that falls off the stage, right? Thank you. Well done, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot and well done, everybody. Okay, next up, our second in-kind award. And this is to Reutler. So I would like Raymond and I think, yeah, Raymond and Isabel, or just Raymond? Oh, yeah, both of you. Come up on stage. And Raymond and Isabel do an amazing job in the accelerator by giving our startups IP advice and also how to have an IP strategy, which is super important if you're a startup. So come this way, come stand in the middle, and they're giving 12 hours of IP services to the following startups. Okay, so Sensors, Cly, Arcadia, Reazymes, Beyond Scroll, and Healthy Longer. Come up on stage, guys. Right. I can see who's who. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's go that way. Hang on. Healthy Longer. Hang on. No, I've got the wrong way. No, Beyond Scroll. Thank you. Healthy Longer's at the far end. Sensors is opposite. Yep, and there you go. That end. You want that one? You want that one? Cly. Oh, hello. Hi. Right, so let's come into the middle. Please come into the middle at the front, and let's do a quick photograph. You need to come a bit further forward. Come further forward. Come this way. Come to the edge. No one jump. Yeah, good. Everyone smile. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well done, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Isabel. Okay, what's up next? Now, I teased you a little bit earlier on with this one. This is the first time we've done this. This is the One Young World Switzerland Award. So can I be joined on stage by the Managing Director of One Young World Switzerland, Jess, and one of the co-founders of One Young World Switzerland, which is Stefan. So could you guys come up on stage. Come on stage. So I'm going to ask Jess just to explain what this award is, because I was so inspired by when I visited them in June. I thought this would be quite cool to do. So Jess is going to explain what this award actually is and why it's going to be useful to the startup that wins it.
Sure, thanks, Matt. So One Young World is the global community for young leaders with the vision to identify, connect, and promote the world's most impactful young leaders to create a better world with more responsible and more impactful leadership. And every year they host a summit, and after this summit you become a One Young World ambassador. And I've attended 2 of these, and I feel very privileged to have done that. And without wanting to sound too cheesy, it honestly was a life-changing experience. It's 2,000 very competent and very keen young leaders from every country in the world brought together for a week to discuss the most problematic challenges that we face. So Matt has very kindly allowed us to give this award to enable one of the startups to attend the summit next year in Belfast, the 2023 Global One Young World Summit, to represent Swiss entrepreneurship and innovation.
And the award goes to Cultivated Biosciences. Do you both want to, Dimitri, come up as well? Yeah. So, do you want to go into the middle? Yeah. So guys, very well done. Yep, let's come to the front, but don't fall off. Okay. Thanks a lot. Okay, thank you. Well done, guys. Thanks, gents. Okay. Now we get, I think, to the cash prizes. Ooh. So this year we have some bronze winners. And the award for 10,000 francs, no strings attached, bronze winner, goes to Mana Insect. So Jukka, can you join me on screen? And Ian, sorry. My bad. Yeah, forgot the stupid thing. Should have had Ian present it. Join me on Jukka. Ian, congratulations. Come a little bit further forward. Come on. A little bit further forward. Fantastic. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thanks, Ian. Okay. Now to join me on stage, can I get Julian from PMI, who's going to award our next bronze winner. Okay, so our next bronze winner, Julian, would you like to come a little further? Our next bronze winner is Gaiatech. Well done, guys. Well done. Congratulations. Congratulations. Well done, Claudio. Okay, let's get to the front. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Well done, guys. Okay. Next up, we have another bronze winner, and joining me on stage to present it will be Benoit. Benoit, would you like to join us? Benoit, one of the founding fathers of MassChallenge Switzerland. Right. So, this goes to, drum roll please. Thank you. Ophthalmic, Langston, come on up on stage. Well done. Let's get, we need to go right to the front. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have another bronze winner. And joining me on stage to present it is Daniel from SMC. Where are you, Daniel? Daniel. Okay, so Daniel, please join us on stage. You're going that way. Perfect. I'll try and keep it a secret. Yeah, you need that. So, the winner. You, Dustin. Dustin's online. Now, Dustin is online. So we're going to wave at Dustin. He's online. We're going to do the photograph, and we're going to send it to him. Thank you. Thanks, David. I'll take that. Ah, fantastic. Right, who's up next? Okay. Okay, so we're going to have, up next, we have a new category. This is a silver winner. Okay, and joining me on stage to present it, can I get Titus from Bystronic? Titus, please join us. Okay, so, silver winner, 20,000, no strings attached, Swiss francs, goes to Cultivated Biosciences, so Dimitri and Thomas. Well done, guys. Well done, guys. Right. Come to the front. Come to the front. A bit closer, a bit closer, a bit closer. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Well done, guys. We now have another silver winner. And this one is going to be presented by Raphael. Thank you. Raphael from the Canton of Vaud, please join us on stage. Okay, are you ready for the drum roll? Sensors, Francesco, please join us on stage. Well done, sir. Let's get to the front. Thank you. Well done, well done. Okay, Helmut, can you join me on stage to present the next one? It is another silver winner. Okay, another silver winner. Can I get a drum roll, please? This one goes to Lemon and Gergana. Now, Gergana's online, so you and I will do the photograph at the front. I know, so you won, you won. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Gergana. Okay, fantastic. Okay, what's up next? Okay, can I get Florian on stage, please? So Florian from Suzuka to join us, please, for our next award. Okay, this is a gold winner, 40,000 Swiss francs. Okay, so the winner of the gold award, please join us on stage. Lignovations, Victor. Well done. Will you come to the front? Well done, thank you. Thanks a lot, well done. And now can I have on stage to award this one, Fabio. Thank you, from Givaudan. Right, we have another gold winner, another 40,000 Swiss francs. And the winner of this is Josh Vinulux. Well done, guys. Well done, Niels. And you can squish up towards the edge without falling over. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Well done, guys. Got 3 left. Is that right? 3 left. Another gold winner. So pleased to present this one on stage. Can I have Stefan, CEO of Bühler? Please, thank you. Right. So, drum roll, please. No palm ingredients. Lars, please join us. The whole team is here, by the way. Well done. Well done. Yeah, come right to the front and then... fantastic. Well done, guys. Well done. Thank you, Stefan. 2 left to go. It was very close this year. This is a platinum winner. This is for 80,000 Swiss francs. And to present it on stage, can I have Catherine from Nestlé? Thank you. Come up on stage, Catherine. Come on, sir, come on. Okay. And the winner of 80,000 Swiss francs, no strings attached, is Neil from Jasbury. Well done, thank you. We go right to the front. We need to get perfect. Thank you. Okay. That means there's one left. To present it, can Geraldine from DSM join me on stage, please? And of course, the winner, the diamond winner this year, you know who it is. They have won 100,000 Swiss francs, no strings attached. Our winner is, drum roll, Composite Recycling. The whole team is here, so come up, 3 of you, come on to the stage. Well done, guys. Amazing, thank you. Well done. We need to get sort of close to the front, but not too far, otherwise you'll fall off. Yeah, come on in. Fantastic. This way, okay. Superb. Thank you. Well done, guys. Amazing result. Amazing. Thanks, Guillaume. Amazing. Thank you. Well done. And that concludes 2022. Whew, what a year. So can we get one final round of applause for all of our startups? And whilst that's happening, if you are a startup who's won tonight, or you're a judge or a mentor, or you're a partner who's presented something, can you join me on stage? Because I want to get my new favorite photograph. So whilst that's happening, everyone a round of applause if you've presented something tonight, or you've been join us up on stage, and we're going to do the mass group photograph of all of our winners. Let's hope the stage can cope.
Alors, qui dit études dit travail, qui dit taf, je te dis les thunes, qui dit argent dit dépenses, qui dit crédit dit créance, qui dit dette.
Thank you very much, Neil.
Lui dit assis dans la merde, qui dit amour dit les gosses.
Now this is a logistical exercise, right?
Qui dit proche te dit deuil, car les problèmes ne viennent pas seuls. Qui dit crise.
Come forward, be friendly.
Dit tiers-monde, qui dit fatigue dit réveil, encore sourd de la veille, alors on sort pour oublier tous les problèmes. Alors on danse, alors on danse, alors on danse.
Okay.
Alors on danse, alors on danse, alors on danse.
Do we all need to come closer? Well, get friendly. It's warm. Sorry, I don't want to knock anyone over.
Dis que c'est fini, car pire que ça, ce serait la mort. Quand tu crois enfin que tu t'en sors, quand il y en a plus rien à encore.
Yeah. Should we get everyone waving? Thumbs up.
Les problèmes ou bien la
Yeah.
les tripes, ça et puis tu pries pour que ça s'arrête. Mais c'est ton corps, c'est pas le ciel. Alors tu te bouges
Fantastic.
tes oreilles et là tu cries encore plus.
Yeah.
Persiste, alors on chante.
Come on, you know you love the lens. Okay, thank you very much. Well done, everybody. Thank you. The apéro. How could I forget? The apéro is just outside this room, on the left-hand side. And afterwards, there is an after party at the Bulldog in Flon, which will start about 10:30. So please, everyone in the audience, thank you very much for coming. And thank you for your support for the startups across the year. We'll see you again in 2023, we hope. But thank you. See you outside for the apéro. Well done. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.